What was that for? Like, I can't drive like this. Hi everyone, welcome back to another video, and on today's video, I'm going to be participating in the second to last round of the Nations Cup. It's going to be the highlights of the 3 attempts that I did to get the maximum of points possible, and as you just saw, there's going to be chaos, and it isn't only that part that is going to be chaotic. It's going to be a lot throughout the 3 races, a little bit of everything. I hope you guys enjoy it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to not miss on any future content, and now to the races. 5 red lights to the first race. I get a good start, but the car dies completely. I try to defend, but I get hit from the side. I go to the right to try to get the inside for the next corner. The car in front squeezes the white car and in the process spins out. I try to maximize my exit. I give a little tap to the white car. I continue now focusing on P3 onto the half part of the lap. I'm going to try to brake late to get the curb. He goes very wide. I'm going to prepare for the inside. I brake very late and I managed to get the overtake done. Now focusing on P2, the guy gains a bit of distance since I lost a bit of time with that overtake, but still focusing on trying to maximize my exit. But I go very wide, and with a slipstream the orange car will have the advantage. He'll go for the inside. I try to maintain my racing line to prepare the second corner, but the driver in P5 goes for the inside, gives me a little hit, and into turn 2 he hits me again and sends me straight into the wall. That's my race ruined, but I'll try to continue and try to gain the maximum amount of positions possible. P10 up ahead. I gain that a few laps later. I overtake the Ford GT in the fast part of the track. Now focusing on the red Alfa Romeo. He goes wide on turn 2. I get the switchback done, a lovely overtake on the inside before this downhill part, the first downhill part of the track. P8 up ahead, another Portuguese driver. Now a few laps later, I'm in P7. I'll try to gain the position for P6 on the white car. I try to prepare the next corner, going to the inside. I'm going to brake very late, but the German driver is still pretty far ahead. He brakes very late also. He gets a decent exit. I'm going to try to get the inside as he leaves the door open. He'll squeeze me a little bit into this fast part of the track. I'll have to prepare the downhill straight. Meanwhile, P8 tries to take advantage. 3 side by side. The white car goes very wide. The blue car gets the inside, but I do another switchback. Lovely overtake, trying to maximize my exit. I give him a little squeeze, and I managed to successfully gain the position. I'm going to put on mediums to try to prepare the second stint of the race. Exiting the pits, I'm going to have a close encounter with this Ford GT. I almost hit him, but nothing happens, thankfully. Now, I get a bit of wheel spin. The tires are a bit cold. I nearly spin out. Now, the next lap, I'm very close to the French driver. He goes over the curb, but so do I. But I get a better exit. I try to go for the inside at this first part. He goes over the curb, squeezes me, and I don't have another option that isn't to hit him. Now, the Ford GT with slipstream will try to go around the outside to the normal racing line to try to maximize the braking zone. He gets me before the corner. I try to brake very late. I don't manage to regain the position, but I'm very close. I think about going down onto the inside. I get a squeeze. I hit him slightly, but he also hits me, trying to not make me able to overtake him. Now, a bit later, onto the next corner, I try to brake late. He falls for the bait. I'll prepare the next corner. Good braking on to the last few corners. I managed to gain the position. A few laps later, I'm already in P7, but P8 goes for the overtake. He hits me. I'll try to regain that position. I managed to do so, but he'll hit me, and I do a 360 over the grass unfortunate second time that I get hit and my race is ruined again, down into P9. I'll try to gain a few positions before the race. Right now I'm in P8. The driver behind me gives me a little tap. I'll try to squeeze him to not let him overtake me. He goes over the curb and spins it. I have a good distance now to the driver behind. I'll try to attack now this red Alfa Romeo. I'll try to go for the inside. He goes very wide. I'll have now the inside for the next braking zone. I'll brake late, but enough to not allow him to do the switchback on me. But he'll brake very late and hit me again from behind now into the last corner of the first race. The driver in the white car behind is very close. I'll try to defend. He already hit me a few laps earlier, so I'll try to not allow him to overtake. I tried to defend the inside, but that is a mistake as he'll have way more speed than me into the main straight. Now, second race, I get a much better start. The car doesn't die as much. I have the inside. I'm currently P6. I'll try to go for the dive bomb, but I think about it and decide to not do it. I get hit from every part of the track. I give a little squeeze, but I'm also getting pushed again. Another tap from behind. I'll get hit, and now 3 wide into the next corner. I don't know about that, and I get hit. Completely drop almost into last place, down into P15. I get another tap just to make sure that I drop one more position. I'll try to calm down and get the slipstream to gain a few more positions. Driver serving a penalty. I'll try to go for the dive bomb down on the inside. I brake very late, but everyone also brakes very late. I do not gain a position. I'm still very close. I try to get the slipstream down to the inside, but that is a bit risky. Both I and the driver in front brake a little bit to not go 3 wide into that corner. Now over that curb, trying to go as straight as possible. I'm maximizing my exit. I get a bit closer. A lot of fights between the 4 GTs in front. I try to gain a position. I don't manage to, but I get a much better exit as the 4 GT in front goes very wide. Those two are fighting pretty hard. I'll go for the inside, and this blue and orange 4 GT will brake very late and send me straight into another 4 GT and then into a wall. Now my race is ruined. I go to last, but with a good strategy, I pit early, put on mediums, and I gain a lot of positions and pretty consistent laps down into P8. But with a penalty from the driver in front, I move up to P7. A good recovery, but very unfortunate that my second race ended like that. Now onto the qualifying lap of the third and last race. I brake very late to prepare this corner down into first. I get a bit of wheel spin into third, a little lift into that corner because there is a lot of understeer. Now trying to go as straight as possible in this section, go over that curve and then over this white part to get the maximum amount of straight line speed. I'm going to try to take advantage of the slipstream. It's very little as I'm pretty far now, braking between that black box and the last distance board. You get a good exit over those curves. Now this part is nearly flat out, but I go a bit straighter than usual. I lose a little bit at the exit, I believe, but I gain throughout the corner, so I think it's worth it. Now down to third, you want to go for the late apex on these 2 corners. Try to let the car smooth it out, try to use the chassis all you can. Now into this last corner, down into third over that curve, trying to do the least amount of distance possible. I get a good exit, and that will be pole position with a 1:22.8. Now for the start of the race, 5 red lights. This is going to be very important. This car dies a lot at the start, so I'll try to get a good reaction time. I do, but the other drivers have a much better acceleration. I drop down to P3. I try to go for the inside, but another driver tries to do the same from very far back. Down to P4, I get hit from every part of the track. A lot of chaos, but I somehow, by some miracle, managed to still be in P1. Now I'm going to get quite a bit of understeer, but I managed to do that corner calmly. The driver in second is very close behind. He'll have the slipstream down to this pretty long straight, one of the longest straights in this layout. I'll try to defend the inside. I leave him the race line open, but I'm going to try to brake very late. He also brakes very late. I get hit from behind and from the side. Meanwhile, the driver that was in first drops down into fourth. I'm in second again. I try to gain that position, but I don't manage to. I prepare this second downhill part of the track with a slipstream. I'm going to try to scare him. I brake late. He defends the inside, falls for the bait. I prepare this next part, try to go for the inside. He squeezes me a little bit. I give him a little tap. He shouldn't have squeezed me, and I managed to go back to P1. But now the driver in second is very close with a slipstream. He'll try to go for the inside of that corner, but it's going to have to be very late. I try to brake late to the apex again. He sends me into the grass. I try to keep it on track. I give him a little tap, but meanwhile the driver in P3 also gives me a hit from behind and gets the inside for this next corner. So I end up losing 2 positions, but I'm still very close to the Frenchman in front. I have the slipstream. I'll try to bait him. He'll defend a little bit. He'll brake very late. I try to maximize my exit. Meanwhile, the driver behind goes for a very late dive bomb. He manages to do that. Pretty good overtake, I must admit, but I'm still very close. I'll try to take advantage of this slipstream. They'll probably start to fight, and I'll try to be as close as possible. Now the driver in P3 brakes very late. The driver in second goes a bit deep into the corner and loses time at the exit of turn 2. But the driver in P3 ends up doing the same. I close the gap a little bit, but a lot of understeer. I put 2 wheels on the grass. I lose a bit of time. I'm still close enough to get the slipstream. Meanwhile, I don't know what happened to the driver in second. He gets a very bad exit, and with slipstream, we might be able to get close enough to try to think about an overtake. I'll brake as late as possible. This corner was one of my strong points on this track. We recovered quite a bit of distance. I'm still in the slipstream. That helps me a lot, as this car didn't have much straight line speed, but was very good in the corners. The driver in P3 goes very wide and hits the wall. I tried to use that to my advantage to overtake down on the inside. I managed to do the corner. He tries to overtake me again, but I close that gap. The driver in P2 goes over the grass. I gain a lot of time to him at the exit of the corner. I'll try to brake as late as possible, recover the maximum amount of time possible. I get a good slipstream into this straight, but it's not enough to think about an overtake. But I'll brake very late. He tries to defend a little bit the inside. Meanwhile, a few laps later, I'm back down into P4. The driver in P3 tries to go for the inside. They'll lose quite a bit of time. I'll try to use that to gain these 2 positions, but I'm a little bit closed. It's too risky to go 3 wide into this first corner, so I go to the normal racing line. I try to prepare a switchback going over that curve, but that was a little too much. Meanwhile, Koba gets hit from behind. I try to get the inside for this next corner. I don't manage to. I get a bit of a slow exit since I was still steering. I couldn't accelerate as early. Getting the slipstream into this next overtaking opportunity, I try to maximize my exit speed. Again, this could have been 3 side by side, but I'm going to go straight to the rear end of the driver in first. I brake a bit earlier to try to get a good exit. The slipstream is very powerful at this distance. Few laps later, we've pitted onto mediums. This Italian hits the driver in front. I managed to gain the position this time around. Now I see that this Italian is a bit of a danger to society, so I tried to keep my distance and prepare this next overtaking opportunity. I get a little hit from the driver behind, but now with slipstream, I'll try to scare him a little bit. Let's see, does he defend, does he not? I'll try to go for the late braking down to the inside. He brakes way too late. I managed to gain that position. Now, a few laps later, a different driver is into P3, as the driver that was fighting me before had an incident and dropped a lot of positions. This guy has much fresher tires and the slipstream, so I won't fight him. I'll let him have the insides to not lose as much time, as we are still 5 seconds to the driver in first. There is a small possibility that we close that gap, so I'm not going to fight it. I'm going to use that slipstream to my advantage to try to overtake him at the end and try to close the gap to the driver in first. Last lap. I'm going to try to be close enough to overtake in the last corner to avoid any risks. I'm not going to be close enough to get P2. That will be P3. I mean, I could have gotten P2 pretty easily, but I preferred not to risk it to get some good points. But yeah, pretty intense at the end. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know down in the comments if this position was the position you thought I was going to finish in. And yeah, leave me any suggestions for future races. And don't forget to like and subscribe to not miss any future videos, and see you on the next one. Bye.